Hi, this is Patty in Escondido, California. I'm in zone 10A and I just wanted to share with you my garden. Um, I just started gardening about a year and a half ago, and basically I just retired, and after I retired, COVID hit, so we had lots of free time on my hands. So this is what we did. My husband and I built this trellis, and this is where it all started from. And it's amazing how much we did in about a year and a half. Um, so as we move forward here, I have planted some petunias. Petunias are one of my favorite plants. They come in a multitude of colors, and they're just really showy. And in my area, 10A, they're actually perennials, and they'll come back and they grow year round. I have a hydrangea. It's a climbing hydrangea. It hasn't really gotten fully established yet. It's just starting to work its way up the pole here, and once it does get established, I'll probably have a hard time controlling it. It's supposed to be very invasive, actually. Down here I have a regular hydrangea. It's just starting to produce its flowers. And this one in particular is going to be a white hydrangea. Down here I have another petunia, which is the darker purple, and then I have some primroses, a little drift of primroses. This is a northern pine, and on the top tier here is a sage bush, and this one is really pretty. It has little purple flowers on it. I have an agapantha growing underneath. I have another hydrangea, which will be a white one. I have a lot of African daisies that are growing along the edge here that I actually transplanted from the garden where it used to be. Moving along here, I have a really beautiful climbing coral rose that is going to be just gorgeous once it starts to really move up the post here. In this pot, I'm growing from seed nasturtium. I'm not really sure what this is, but it just popped up, so I'm gonna wait and see what actually comes from it. I have along this other palette walkway, I have the super bells from Proven Winners, and I've kind of had mixed luck with them. They have lasted a whole season, but they haven't really produced that well or bloomed that pretty, in my opinion. But I'm going to continue with those for a little while. I have a gorgeous orange geranium and my Shasta daisies that I planted last year, and they've come back up really nice and strong and tall. They just look super happy there. This is Elysium, which is basically going to be like a little border here, and they grow year-round in my area as well. The geraniums, the same thing. They will stay year-round. I have a lamb's ear, which they do die back quite a bit in the winter, but now that it's springtime, or late spring, they're shooting up some flowers, and pretty soon these are going to bloom like a purple flower in there, which I usually cut off because I just really want them for their foliage. I think it adds a lot of texture to the garden. I have a calla lily, which is a pink calla lily, and I also have some lavender calla lilies that I planted last year that are shooting back up, and I'm excited to see them in bloom this year as well. The verbetum is still hanging in there. I haven't seen it bloom yet, but it does have some little buds on it. Back here is my salvia. The salvia is really gorgeous, and it's just super happy in that little corner. I planted it last year, and it has grown back, just keeps growing taller and stronger. And when the buds, the blooms do die off, you still have this black spike, and it still looks interesting on the shrub. Okay, now back against the back row, I have the Mexican petunias, which are these plants right here. And these will have little purple flowers, and they're just now starting to bloom up again. And they also are year-round for me. They don't they're not an annual, they're perennial. I have a gorgeous white rose here, and I have another petunia or super bell in that little potting container on the shepherd's hook. I have a northern pine, and then back over to the other side of the path, we have this gorgeous white birch. And this was here when we moved in. We actually had 3 of them. We had to remove one of them because it just never really, it was just not strong. Underneath the tree, I have more petunias. I have the pink lady, which is a Mexican primrose. And I also have a heuchera over there in the center with nice coral or red leaves. These are my spent, these are bulbs that, oh gosh, what's the name of those? Can't think of the name of them, but they're little white bell-shaped flowers. And you're supposed to let these bulbs foliage die back before you cut it out, so that it gives strength back to the bulbs every year. And you can see here that I have a lot of these pink ladies, and I'm actually shocked at how big they are. They grow on a rhizome, and which means they have little shoots that come from underground, and they also grow from seed, and they pretty much have taken over this whole garden. And I actually had a lot of plants in here, and I need to thin it out so that I can expose what I had. This is in the same family as poinsettia, and this is a red, it has really pretty red foliage and a little yellow flower that will appear in the center of each one of these little groupings. I love this because I just stuck it in the ground and it just took root. This is lantana. This is a very common ground cover. It is a super grower, and in fact I've cut it back quite a bit, and it's just still continues to grow and spread, and it'll overtake everything else if you're not careful. So you have to keep it in check. Same thing over here, more lantana. I have African daisies. This would be a Japanese maple. The Japanese maple, this particular variety does well in the heat. It has small foliage, and this will withstand the Escondido summers. We have, in our area, we can get into the triple digits, and this actually will survive. Most Japanese maples needed a little bit cooler climate, but this one does okay. Over onto this side, we have the Super Petunia Bubblegum Vista, which this is actually just 2 plants. It grows like crazy, and it will cover your whole garden. It's just amazing how big this plant does and how well it does. It's a perennial in Escondido, so that means that it will stick around all year round. I don't have to do anything in the winter. Over here, These just came up. These are a type of lily that I didn't plant. So this used to have ground cover all over the whole garden and a lot of weeds, I might add. And when we started the garden, we just made these different tiers so that we kind of have a staircase effect. And these just popped up to my delight. I can't wait for them to bloom. I planted gladiolas in this little box container in each one of these little sections. I'm still waiting for that to bloom. We have a little cart here my husband made for me, and it's sitting on this little platform that we made out of concrete, and we used with the use of a stamp. Down here I have the potato bags that I got online, and these, you start at a very low level in the bag and you plant your potato starts, and then as they push their foliage up, you cover it. And so this one's ready to get some more dirt put in it. And so what I'm going to do is, once I get my dirt, I'm going to go ahead and put about 2 or 3 more inches worth of dirt, and then these will continue to grow up over it. Once this is over the top and it's mature, you just simply open this Velcro trap door on this bag, and you can extract all your potatoes. So as you cover it with more dirt, it produces more tubers, and it should be really awesome. So over here, this is also an incredible amazing plant. This is a black-eyed Susan, and my son actually planted this for me a couple years back, and you can see from one plant this just grew all over this fence, and it's actually ready to get a haircut. So what I'm going to do is, and it doesn't kill it, it's amazing, but I can just come in here and with my clippers and just start clipping it when it gets too thick like this. But it's just amazing how big this gets. So down as we move across here, we're going to be back to the beginning where I usually come in from when I park my car. And I just wanted to show you a view of the whole garden as it looks from the parking spot. So you can see I've got a hammock there that my husband and I made, and you can see all of the pathways that we created with the pallets. And it was just a fun project. So we have all these different steps that come up, and it's just made a very relaxing, peaceful, tranquil looking garden. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.